You've tried leaving behind the hope, the promises, all of it. You dreamed about serving the captain and standing by their side for years. When your dream was about to come true, it was crushed by powers and forces beyond your control. But the captain has sought you out. And this is your chance to prove that your dream can go to the distance. You are more than blind faith and naivete. You can save all the worlds, but you have to prove yourself to the rest of the team. The captain recognizes your potential, but they only see one who is untested, undeserving, and unqualified. But you've got what it takes. You and the captain will shine together no matter what. Will you prove how capable you truly are, or will the stars in your eyes blind you to the cruel fate that awaits you?
So I think the scene, this moment, opens up with the Believer, the android known as Daxton, standing in front of a large lecture hall. And it's the kind where it's tiered seating going up, like very stadium style, very Star Trek Academy kind of feel to it, with a number of students sitting throughout the hall. And it's, I think, a pretty even mix of humanoid races and androids. And there's an awkward silence in the room as it seems that Daxton has just asked a question that no one seems to know the answer to. And they are patiently waiting for someone to give a reply. And they're not the kind of teacher who will just eventually give the answer to the students. Instead, they are sitting there waiting until someone says something. I think it's maybe in that awkward silence that we eventually see the captain enter.
Or that's when Daxton realizes, because you're looking around to see if, like, maybe there's someone that just needs a little encouragement, because sometimes speaking out and giving answers can be scary. And you catch something out of the corner of your eye, and you can't quite fully see her, but you see these gloved hands resting on a cane, and you don't need to see the face to know this is the captain. You're a captain who you haven't seen in years. And I think in this moment we might flash to a spot on the ship we used to travel on, which would have been where Daxton spent most of their time and where Helena would come and chat with them and check on them. What room on the ship did Daxton claim as theirs?
I think Daxton was very enamored by, like, fauna and flora of various places. So I feel like maybe this ship didn't have, I won't say a greenhouse, like, of mass proportion, but maybe like a small area where, like, there were some, like, plants that could be taken care of, or
a little garden almost.
Yeah, yes.
Something that would help with oxygen production, and also, like, we get some fresh fruits and vegetables. Not a large amount, but some.
Yeah. I wouldn't consider Daxton, like, a botanist by any stretch, or a horticulturist, but someone who just kind of liked caring for plants in a very hobby-like manner. So they are kind of sitting on a bench typically and, you know, working with repotting something or pruning a flower, whatever it might be. But that's typically where they would spend their downtime.
After Daxton started spending more time there and Helena noticed that, you may have noticed that there was suddenly, like, a little bookshelf that has, like, a couple different books on taking care of plants and interesting plants. And nicer or newer tools if there was anything you were, like, having trouble with or something that you were trying to do. Even if you didn't ask, Helena would usually notice. And you're trying to grow this little tree, and there's something about, like, the way the artificial gravity works that's making it a little difficult, and you find these little, like, stakes and ties that you could use to help the tree stay upright until it's strong enough to stand on its own. Because I feel like she was always thoughtful like that. or like what would appear to some people as thoughtful.
Sure.
She learned to notice those kind of things for not great reasons, but I think you especially believe like it was only the best of intentions.
Sure.
So as you see and realize Helena's there, standing in the back of the lecture hall, I get to ask you a question. How are you giving hope to others? How does that reflect my legacy?
Yeah, Daxton stands in the front of the room, having caught the visual image of Helena there, and poses a different question to the class. Perhaps I could ask you a different query. When is the right time to give up? It's not an easy question, but I can tell you all that from experience, it's a very personal one, but one that you have to give time to. I don't like the idea of giving up. There are plenty of people who could have given up on me, and they didn't. So I consider it my place in this world to not give up on others, or on a situation that might seem dire. Even leaving people behind does not mean giving up.
You catch the motion of her nodding from in the shadows, not saying anything, not drawing attention to herself, but she's probably realized you clocked she's there.
Yeah. And they go on to basically, in not so specific detail, in very broad strokes, kind of tell the story of meeting the enemy and how it was supposed to be, the thing that saved everyone, and it didn't end up that way, but things still worked out. There was still hope in the end. There was still a way out. There was still a way to move forward because of the connections we made, because of the people that we were able to bring with us, because of all of the complex things that came about due to those circumstances. And I think that is how Daxton sees Helena. Like, yes, she was gone for a while, but I think Daxton felt like left behind. Not the hard choice that had to be made when we met the enemy, but the disappearance afterwards. Feels like their mentor, their captain, I don't want to say caretaker, because I don't think it was quite that relationship, but the person that they looked up to left. And they've been holding out hope this entire time, and they believe that their hope has been proven true now.
The class ends, the students leave. You have a couple people stop to ask you questions, leave comments. You gave them a lot to think about, more than they expected to today. And as things get quiet and everyone else has left, you turn around and Helena's moved to be behind you now. In a move that doesn't surprise you. This is just Helena.
Yeah.
She's sneaky. You're probably the one person she can't spook like that, but she still tries.
Yeah. I don't think it's that you can't necessarily, get past my senses. I think I just don't spook.
True. Yeah. I imagine it's a fun little game.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah. I didn't expect to see you in the lecture hall.
I was never one for the formal education, but sometimes needs must and all that.
Well, I'm not sure that you could learn anything from me anyway.
I don't know, you seem to have grown quite a lot since we last met. You're teaching now.
Yes, trying to teach a new generation of others that will eventually be seeking the stars and hopefully handling the interpersonal relationships better than I ever did.
I think you did pretty alright, considering the circumstances.
Well, thank you. I teach mostly from experience now.
You got more than you bargained for when you signed up with me.
I won't deny that. Why are you here? Why now? What brought you back?
Because as much as I wish it was, the job's not done. I picture like this is happening as we are doing a walk and talk. Because like you have somewhere to get to me and I'm just kind of following along. And I think what happens first is one of your students, when they realize who you're talking to, comes up and asks, "Is it true? The stories that they tell, the stories that you tell? Is that the captain you traveled with? Did the two of you really save everything?"
I think if that last line hadn't been there, I think if it had just been, "Is it true? Is this the captain you traveled with?" I think we both would have kind of just said yes and talked through it a little bit. But with the, "Did you save everything?" Because we didn't save everything. And so I think Daxton goes to kind of make a response, and one of us cuts in, kind of like laying the that awful, painful truth of what actually happened out for this student who seems to be a little starstruck. And I think it's a little jarring.
Yeah.
You think it's you or me?
I think it might actually be Helena.
Okay.
Because I don't think this is something that she's talked about for a while. So it's like, did you save everything? Things aren't quite as simple as that. You'll find the truth is always more complicated, and try as you might, you can't save everything. Sometimes, to make a difference, to quote-unquote save the world, sacrifices have to be made, and sometimes, most of the time, you don't get a say in what those sacrifices are going to be. You just have to find some way to make it worth it.
And I think the student, already having a lot to think about with the lecture that Daxton gave, has to take a moment to like swallow that and reflect before like slowly kind of walking off. You know, they're only just starting to realize the stark truth of these matters.
Yeah, well, go into something with too much of the rose-colored glasses on. It's one of those lessons that's better learned now than later. Better they learn now before they get someone killed. Helena does say that. Her voice drops. She says that softer, so it's less like, so it's not going to be picked up by people passing by.
I don't know if I ever lost my rose-colored glasses.
Gentle pat on the shoulder. I guess a little rose-colored glasses never hurt, so long as you remember what things really look like on the other side. I know that's never been your favorite thing to look at.
We all have to do things we don't enjoy sometimes, right?
It's true.
I feel like it's near the end of a day, kind of like where whatever space this is, this school, like classes are coming to an end and people are going their separate ways. So I think we have a chance to get away from the eyes of the teachers and students, and maybe we decide to leave this campus for a little while, go somewhere, have a moment in whatever way that is. What's that moment?
I was actually going to go with that one. I'm like, technically I'm supposed to choose the second half of what we walk into, but I was going to go with that.
Uh-huh.
Because I think on Daxton's mind is this is a heavy topic. We should go somewhere nice and private. So I think like you just start going without explaining where or why, and Helena just follows you because she's used to this. I think you've maybe gotten more in the habit of explaining out loud why you're doing things, but now you're back with Helena. You don't need to. And she just follows. Feels a bit like the old times when she was first, like, reaching out to you. As we're walking along and it's quiet, we get a chance to see just how much the other has changed, but also how much we're still the same people as we were before. It's a lovely place you've settled, by the way. I guess I can drop the accent a bit. People less likely to notice me.
Even so, I do like all of the different personas you put on.
It's always been a bit of a fun game. Useful skill, but sometimes it's easy to lose who you are in the midst of being who everyone expects you to be.
Speaking of expectations, then, you expect me to come back?
I hope that you will. There aren't that many people I trust. We can't fail this time. We have to end this. I can't go through this again. And I don't want to put anyone else through this again. If I could do it on my own, I would. I've gone back a few times, actually. Not close enough to interact or gain notice of anything, but never stopped trying to find a way to save them all. Guess I can blame you for that. Affecting me with your feelings and caring about people. You know that is absolutely said and just.
Yes. I'm not saying that I wouldn't be willing to come back to such a thing and go at that again, or whatever the stars have in store for us, but truly, that all the time we spent together previously, while I enjoyed every moment of the conversation and connection, I felt like you always felt me unqualified, naive, untested metal. And I would love to prove you wrong in that, but if that's still how you view me, I'm not sure if that's the right choice.
Helena just stops walking and just looks at you for a moment. There's nothing wrong with being a little naive, not knowing everything about all the terrible things in the world. You know why I asked you to join us the first time?
You've told me before, but I could bear to hear it again.
I needed a reminder of hope. Something to remind me to have hope of why it matters. Someone to help me and help everyone know what it's like to believe in something.
I believe in quite a few things.
To remind me of the good things in the world and help me make better choices. As I've proved, some habits are hard to break. Cough, cough, it's hard to break crime habits when you've grown up doing crime.
Yeah. So you're saying I'm simply your external conscience?
You proved useful for plenty more things than that. But that in and of itself is still a powerful thing. It helped me come back.
I think Daxton again kind of takes a moment just to, again, let things process, and then doesn't say anything else for the moment, kind of silently continues walking. Not in like a I'm leaving you behind kind of way, but just in a
I need to move to think.
Yes. Like let's
Okay,
keep going kind of deal.
Helena does continue and rejoin, and I don't think she says anything.
I really do like the idea that they walk in silence for a while, and I feel like that might have been something that they did a lot of on the ship the first time around. You know, if the captain was like maybe just kind of like doing rounds, so to speak, and Daxton would just kind of like follow along, like observing, being silently, not, you know, interjecting anything, just kind of being there. I think they truly just liked Helena's presence.
Yeah. And I think perhaps something that Daxton notices is that the longer they just walk together, the more Helena starts to relax and settle back into like her old gait, her old like usual posture. The mask is coming off. Helena has said it before. She wanted to be a good person, a better person, but she didn't really know what exactly that looked like. 'Cause, like, yeah, she had her aunt, but she grew up in the mob.
Right.
She grew up near the head of a very powerful criminal in an enterprise. Her understanding of what a good person is skewed.
Sure.
So, yes, like, Daxton did learn a lot about the world and perhaps some of the darker side of the world, Helena also learned what goodness actually looks like.
Yeah.
They're polar opposites and they're besties.
I think there's a moment where we have to like go through a doorway of some sort, like there's a door to open, and Daxton goes to like press the button or enter the key code or whatever it is to open the door, and on their very pale, like bluish green skin, Helena sees a wristband, and she recognizes it probably as something that she gave Daxton years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Way back when they first kind of joined together. It's like just a simple kind of metal band that has like maybe some sort of like pattern inscribed into it. I think it was the first like personal item that Daxton ever got. Like it caught their eye somewhere and didn't have much a sense of self yet. And I think Helena getting it for them became that solidifying factor of who Daxton is and who Helen is and who they are together. And so yeah, Daxton's still wearing it, like has never taken it off even after all this time.
But Daxton just feels like this gentle of like her glove knuckle, like just like tapping on it, like Helena would sometimes do if they were like walking together and she went to go her separate way, and she says, "I'll be in town for a few days if you need to take time to think about it, or if you want to talk."
Thank you. I think a little bit of time to process would do me good.
Of course. You know how to get hold of me.
They kind of smile a very awkward android smile.
Awkward android smile sounds adorable.
Yeah. It's like they try to make that like, you know, that kind of like half smile of, yeah, I know where to find you. You're right. We know each other. But it kind of just comes off kind of a little bit weird looking because it's just not quite, it's just a little uncanny valley.
Just a little wonky.
Yeah.
I think before she leaves though, she says, "How did you get to become so much wiser than me? Well, I guess you've always been. Did you figure out where it comes from?"
I never stopped learning. There is so much I still don't know, and knowledge is not what makes you wise. It's the ability to learn, the ability to process and integrate and synthesize with your own self. Because if you ever think that you've reached a point of completion, of finality, then you've stopped learning. You've stopped thinking that anything bad could happen.
That's when it all falls apart.
That's when it all fell apart. There's a pause there, and Daxton says, "And in that learning, I've learned so much from you over the time we've spent together. But I feel like that learning will, at some point, come to an end. What is it that I can't learn? What can't you teach me?"
I think she had started to walk away, like made it a couple of steps and stopped, and she doesn't fully look back. "The one thing I can never teach you is how to be a better person. Because you've always been a better person than me. I'll never be able to teach you what it means to be a hero. Because that's one part that I've never figured out how to play."
I think that's a really good point for her to just like turn and keep going.
Yeah, there's this like she continues walking on, and then for the next part, after the captain recruits the believer, both of them draw a card face up. Black loyalty is regained. The crew member keeps the card in their hand. They describe they want to believe in the other. Red, the enemy goes stronger. I think you could like join either way, but just like, do you trust me?
I join regardless. I think it's just a matter of like what the circumstances of that joining are.
Yeah. So, I can't see. Which one do you want to be yours?
Your right hand. I chose
Red.
red. So the enemy grows stronger, and I briefly describe a glimpse of the enemy and how they're becoming more terrifying.
As the camera flashes back to the place where We thought it had ended all those years ago, except for Helena knew it didn't.
A nice juxtaposition to our last conversation about wisdom and learning and what that means. We see a moment of this nano swarm moving and coalescing and reforming into various shapes. And I think we see a moment where it has an organic subject of sorts that it's controlling at the moment, whether one of the people we left behind or someone new, I'm not sure, but it's the briefest glimpse of seeing it start to figure out how to fake emotion, how to cover up the fact that it is controlling these people a little bit better. It has a little bit more power to hide the possession, more or less, of the people that it's taken into its swarm. And we get the idea that this learning isn't going to stop, that it's going to keep learning more things by trial and error, by algorithm, by whatever else it might be, quicker than we want it to.
Unless we can find some way to end it. The other question I have for you is, how long does it take Daxton to come to their decision to join? But since I didn't gain your loyalty, why do you join? You hold out hope for another way. Why do you still seek peace?
I don't think that it takes Daxton long to respond to the captain and say that they are coming aboard and signing on yet again. I don't think it's because you didn't gain my loyalty necessarily. It's not because of a need to come back and be your conscience again. I think that there is a worry in the back of Daxton's mind, saying, kind of like monologue-esque in my mind, like them sitting like in front of the mirror, kind of like talking to themselves a little bit, My creators intended me to evolve, to adapt, and become something more than mere calculations and moving servos. Perhaps there's a part of me that wonders if something like that could become true for them, too, for this evil, this enemy that we fought so long ago. I recognize the nuance of survival in their actions, but our systems are not wholly dissimilar, but I don't want to become that. Perhaps I can remind this other entity what it could be, what we both could be. It may not be possible. It might get me killed, but I need to try. Even now. And I think after that little, self-conversation, Daxton does get a hold of Helena. What is the way that they contact them? Because you said you know how to contact me and get a hold of me. I'm curious to know what that is.
You know her well enough to know where she would be hanging around, and you know the criminal underworld signals that she would leave, so it's just...
Perfect.
You know what signal to leave in front of the coffee shop to let her know you want to meet.
Perfect. I love that.
Helena's not a morning person without a serious amount of caffeine.
That's fair. I don't think that Daxton leaves a sign or symbol or anything to meet up again. I think they just leave one that essentially means affirmative. That essentially means, yes, I'm in. And goes to, start preparing.
So you'll be going once more into the void to see if maybe you can change it.
Maybe I can change it.
Maybe you can become its conscious.
Maybe I can become the void's conscience. Void conscience.
I mean, why not?
Well, yeah, sure. Didgeridoo. Gosh dang it.
I mean, that's a really
Retake.
weird reason to do something.